Officer, what brings you up here in the rain? Officer, what brings you up here in the rain?
Yes, that was pretty good.
That was. Yeah, that was horrible. Truly horrible.
Jean, it's not right. Don't make it worse. And I really liked it.
Again? I can't believe...
Oh, hello, dear.
Hi again, gendarme. Bye-bye, gendarme.
Fuck does Kuno care? Kuno doesn't.
The man is decomposing visibly now. Every hour he looks, the lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
All right. I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands. I'll take...
Stuck in the rain in a traffic jam, man. What's on your mind?
Looking for something, Aunt?
What are wondering, man?
Right to work! Right! A lorry stuck, the windows, fumes of heavy fuel oil waft. The driver, a large metal, the back end of an old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. It looks as if it's been reassembled. This found the smell of there's something odd about the passenger seat. These are one of, there's definitely perfume, the remnants of it. The actress, I feel it. Wait, this actress really, the actresses, looks like the peculiar. It has to be an advanced, unclear, for contacting an entire, not without the dial key, no. The smell of 1,000 you wedge it, but one odd sandpaper adds, matching one of the footprints found from the crime scene. Which means that the missing she is, yes. You should talk to Titus. The movie stars are still smiling from the walls. But voila, a stack. The stack of maps looks just like before. Barely no. Voila. This large toll booth there. Hundreds of thousands. The stack of maps looks a metallic drawer. It's an issue. It looks like these formula pull up to close the.
Lowman, you caught Diamond? Of course not. Whatever stupid things they put in the lorry, I imagine. I quit
She says that as if something narcotic.
Of course it does. What did you expect? What do you mean? Because I'm one of the monos of
A terrible.
the Transcatalia Magistral. You go right ahead, Lowman. Is that all you woke me up to?
The unpromising race pupil. I am not the hard. Now leave me be.
There must be some friction there. He's keeping it well hidden, however.
Mr. Claire, also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Of course you are. Above all, rampant multinational. Stop explaining yourself. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much.
Measurehead stoically. The file cabinet, hundreds, and the same you already remember. All items on the drawer slide. The payphone hang. before the cargo container. The container door appears unmoved, a tough nut to crack for sure. But the strongest containers often have the softest hearts. The door does not respond to your advances. Is it possible that it seems somehow more closed than before?
Oh, hey, mister. I'm not gonna bother you with a long greeting, just like, oh, we're on a strike. No, but Titus and his boy, like what, Oh, I'm just, sure, mister. About, oh, yeah, of course, mister. Oh, that one.
Mr. Dubois, now, what can Everett Clare do for you today? Let's hear it, Harry. Of course, Harry. Yes, yes. What's that, Harry? You're getting a little pale. Yes, yes. What's that, Harry? You're getting... Most certainly, Harry. By all means, Harry. Great. You want to bounce something off your old friend? It's perfectly okay.
He seems happy about the prospect of you telling Joyce about your conversations.
No, no, Harry. I'm perfectly neutral.
Yes, he really doesn't seem to mind.
Absolutely, Harry. What's on your mind? My dear Harry, I rarely do.
This is the...
Hola, Wandering Man.
The Coppernado is back. What do you want? Yeah? What? Friday afternoon. Yeah? I told you. Yes.
And a hole in his heart. That first.
How can I forget? You know, when I first saw you limping here, I thought she was paranoid or sniffing her own supply. But now I'm not so sure. She said, until you fucking open and...
It's not an... Silence.
Yeah.
Scared. Everard's file on you seemed thin on info. She must know from somewhere else. From Jamrock. Something more. Of course, I should have known. Concentrate on tracking down the ruby.
Sure, I hear they have a shack with boyish. Here's red. Dot. The what now?
She said she...
What?
We were talking...
This guy...
There you have it.
It feels like you'll get to know. Soon enough.
fuck does Kuno care? The fuck do you want with it? Good call, pig. The fuck about it? Your test. Get lost. Kuno doesn't.
There are 8 pairs of tracks in the mud. You won't get far without the lieutenant.
I was just thinking, what a nice day for questions.
A cockatoo. This book talks about where to even begin. All cockatoos are known for their needy natures. With pet owners, it is not recommended to... You're right. Ouch. Not great for the neighbors.
The purity of snow always reminds me of the purity of a man's soul, if he's got principles.
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admit? I don't believe it. I've never.
The bemusement in her voice doesn't fully mask genuine tenderness.
There'll never be skulls, but their hearts are in the right place.
She throws you a conspiratorial glance.
Have you noticed the quiet? Every so often, you might hit. This place is a sepulchre. We'll paint it red. I don't.
The bemusement in her voice doesn't
There'll never be skulls. Fat chance. But you can still do your part to revitalize.
She throws you a conspiratorial.
Have you noticed? This place is a sepulchre.
The worn mat features the patchwork. A cockatoo is a... This book talks about the delicate... You're right. Ouch. Not great for the neighbors. This... Ooh. Perhaps, in the word, it must be glorious to behold. Despite the bang is for all the scary things in the world. Where to even begin? Pet owners, or it is not recommended to get a cockatoo if you're not able to cook them. You're right. Ouch. Not great for the neighbors. This? Ooh. Perhaps, in the words, it must be glorious. Despite the bang is for all the scary where to even begin? Pet owners, or it is not recommended to get a cockatoo if you're... You sit on the wind-worn wooden planks of the bench. The twiddling barely keeps your... Time passes. It's getting so dark. Time passes. You ponder upon and...
Hello, hello. Let me know if... Sure, let me have a look. Anything else you're thinking of selling? Another time, Pat.
This is it, the scene of the party, the fire pit, cigarettes, and empty bottles, all not as such. I'm talking about what looks like they were here a while, judging from all the bottles. You sit on the wind-worn wooden... You sit on the wind... Time passes. You ponder upon... Date of birth generator. You were born in the year 07, in the last year of the commune of Revachol, right before it fell, in the old military hospital on the ground floor, where people usually came to die during a snowstorm. The revolution had about 1 year left to go, and the fires were still burning bright. They were
Hey, Tequila! Good to see you. How's business? So what's happening? Yeah, Tequila Sunset.
Good. These people know your true name. Looks like it has preceded you, Mr. Sunset. More on that later.
That's harsh. I'm like 3 or maybe 4. Things aren't going super well for Idiot Doom Spiral either. Haven't...
This guy's your buddy. You feel it immediately. You belong to an organization, a fraternity of
We are saving...
Please! Please!
Okay, we're drinking. We're drinking alcohol. So now it's a pirate's life for me. It's you. We've met before. Don't you remember? Maybe. You look like you want to know how...
Tequila Sunset. Something ominous there.
Let me take a sip to moisten up my chords. Tequila Sunset rolled into Martinez last Friday. Hey, let's not jump ahead of ourselves. You got here on Friday to solve a case, hoping to be the early bird who gets the worm. And word on the street is you went around the local hostel telling people that you're a police officer, and that it would be real.
Does that sound like something you'd do? Yeah.
It was a late Saturday night when we, the Union of Moribund Alcoholics, were getting our drink on. Nothing remarkable about this. One moment we hear the sound of a motor carrier.
Do you remember the sound of wood?
Naturally, loud noises pique the interest of anybody owning a pair of ears. That's just the Anyway, there was a brief silence. A gasp of silence, if you... Sounded like someone jumped the canal. We grabbed our Bruce...
3 men are standing on a wooden platform extending out from the...
What we saw was a sight to behold. A beat-up police carriage contained the time. So, naturally, being the curious cat I am, I asked, the time hath come for Tequila Sunset, the end of all things. Yeah, looms. Why not?
Your hands cramp on the steering levers.
We ran towards the ice whilst you crawled your way out, miraculously unhurt. When we finally got there, you were sitting on the beach crying. You said that your badge and uniform were... Recognizing a brother in need, we offered our condolences and invited you...
What else was there to do?
We asked about the whole Tequila Sunset thing, and you told us it was your name now, and insisted that we all call you that from then on. I'm not sure. Yeah. I agree. Hours. It was an all-night drink-a-thon. Then at some... How they're beautiful and also whores and so on. How one of them fucked you real bad. After a short while, you crossed the event horizon. Look, it was the greatest thing this fishing village has seen.
Aye, that was a classic too.
You were pretty vague about it, but you kept
Please, don't open that door.
No one's fucked me. I do. Abigail.
It seemed pretty painful, to be honest with you. If I had to guess, I'd say you're still working through some shit. Beside your gun and your badge, you said something about your hope. In retrospect, I guess you told us that they were a bunch of fucking losers.
It's more like you.
No specifics, though. It was more about you that... Yeah, you said it was no biggie and that you'd solve it in no time. And that you didn't need anyone to do it. Yeah, you seemed really mad about I'd rather not get into the details. It was pretty You kept calling yourself a goddamn...
As you've already determined, the actual number is just over 2.
No thanks to the squares at the precinct, as you put it. It's a hard thing for a man to confront his past. That's why I avoid mine at all costs. Can't really remember seeing any women after...
It's a touchy topic. He hasn't got laid in ages.
What's it about? I'll let my hand address the situation. Maybe you've heard. I used to be a very successful businessman. I've signed more than a few lease forms or whatever the fuck they were. All right. Hey, Abs.
Don't you? You call her.
I need you to sign this document.
Don't call her.
Don't call Abaquao. Don't know if I've mentioned it, but I used to be a businessman. And as a...
No, that was my favorite thing of all the things you have.
Hey, guys.
About fucking time, man.
Don't call Abigail.
Anything else, this merry band of adventurers? Okay, what's on your mind? Whoop-de-doo. So now I'm a fucking storyteller. Right, why not? Better than a beach bum. It depends, really.
The gleam in his eyes and the slouch in his posture is so incredible.
I don't want it, man. I need it. So, have you got anything for good old idiot Doom Spiral? A bottle for a story. Seems fair to me. Classy.
Hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna...
Don't call...
Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here. I was once a reasonably high net worth individual. I used the profits from my agency to finance what I called I developed the paradigm, worked within the paradigm. But 22 full-time employees, an all-star team. But it did. With my trust. But now dreams are worn thin. One day I left on my evening run. As you may know, it's impossible to clear your head when...
He's right. His eyes are clouded. His dilated blood vessels.
So I removed the key ring and put the keys for the front gate and the apartment into different pockets. I was halfway done with my usual lap when it started to rain. Wet, okay? It was raining. I made my way back home and discovered that I didn't have the key to the front gate. Naturally, the situation required me to climb over the gate, which I did. There was no climbing down because Ouch, indeed. Reality was looking rather grim just then, so I made my way across the yard. Standing in front of my apartment door, fumbling with my pockets. I wish I were tequila. I wish I were. I rang my neighbor's buzzers. It was late, and most of them didn't even answer. People are naturally wary of ad men, you see. One moment someone chats you up, 5 minutes later you've bought a box of edible lingerie and a strap-on.
Heavy is the head.
Just then, I experienced a moment of clarity. But when I reached my office, I remembered that I'd asked one of my producers to change the locks that day. And since Anyway, long story short, life spiraled out of control. I haven't gotten into my...
He pinches his thigh as if to check.
So, now you've heard my tragic tale. What do you think? Like nothing you've ever heard, huh? Tequila, I've thought about this series of events for a long time. If there was anything else to it, I would have thought of it by now. Yeah, maybe I've exaggerated, but what matters is that it's true to my subjective experience. Anyway, that was all. Good fucking question, Tequila. If I knew the answer, I used to own my reality situation. Now I can't hang on to anything. Just last week I stole this nice new jacket.
You of all people should empathize with this. Perhaps this lost jacket is something you could help with?
My agency, man. The Boom Boom Room. I convinced my partners to reinvest some of our profits in I was financing a group of
If it sounds like it makes no sense, that's because it doesn't.
I know! It was fucking awesome! Too bad I went on a jog, unleashing a cascade of doom that washed it all away. What? You've never seen 100%?
You really shouldn't touch it.
Pretty nice, huh? This might be one of the...
Good God. It's nearly impossible to describe how dirty this texture is. It's like rubbing two jellyfish skins, and then there's the smell.
Wow, you're lucky.
That's because your paws are fucking filthy, Rosie. We're right next to the bay. You could wash them any... My fellow members of the Union of Moribund Alcohol...
Hey!
Shut the fuck up, Rosemary.
I thought he was a cool...
Don't call up.
And this is Abs. So yeah, that's basically us. We drink together. Tequila, it's a verifiable tragedy. It was... Say, you're a detective, right? Maybe you can help old Doom spiral out. Solve the case. Yeah, exactly. If I knew where I lost it, don't you think I'd have it? I mean, somewhere north of here, that's for sure. You could ask around, see if anyone's seen it. I'm all ears, Tequila. What's in a name?
Hey, Spiral Boy.
Don't call.
Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here. Something happened to you. I was once a reasonably high net worth individual. So you don't want... I do. But as you can see, my fuel tank is running quite low. If you catch my drift. Interesting. The tale I'm about to tell you is an urban legend particular to Martinaise. There are many variations on the basic story, and the details often conflict. What everyone agrees...
Are you telling the story of the Ed...
Shut the fuck up, Rose. Summer of 44. 17-year-old Gertrude Het is...
The streets are warmed by a southerly breeze. In the harbor's dark, her cigarette is a beacon.
Our heroine finds herself enjoying the peace and quiet the canal provides. What she doesn't know is that her peace is about to be shattered. From behind her comes the clattering of hooves. Well, yes, but it's the man on the... with no head on his shoulders. Wearing a found tracksuit, searching for the legendary found cap that went missing when he lost his head. Well, there are many versions of this story. Yes. According to legend, young Gertrude Het had to... Gertrude Het may have been the first to
Tell him about the two...
Fuck, Rosemary. They were dating. No one said they were feminists. Everyone always... Right. Early autumn of the wind picks up. A sky.
Two women stand on a small outcropping of rocks. One of them is wearing a
The women are caught in the downpour. They act quickly. Eva gathers.
Don't turn around. Don't.
When she sees something. Her shriek is so violent that but there is no lightning. Only a heavy downpour. Ula makes a run for the shore, but Eva slips on a wet. Her body is never recovered. Word on the street is that she gave herself fish. Anyway, that's the story of the headless Falm Rider. Pretty crazy, huh? Well, Tequila, that's part of the legend. Some say he was an undercover cop who blew his cover and got beheaded by the vicious gang.
Oh, headless brother.
Others claim he was a professional jockey who veered off course during a steeplechase.
Even decapitation couldn't stop his commitment to the sport.
Personally, I think he was just some guy who hanged him. Coincidentally, at that exact moment, a horse...
For some reason, this does strike you as the most plausible theory of them all.
Isn't it? All pieces. Anyway, to each his own. You want to hear any other stories? That's the reality situation for you. You think you got a handle on it, then, yeah? Why don't you go eat shit, Tequila? There's no way you know a better one. I have to admit, that's pretty high concept. Still not as awesome, yeah? Why don't you... Acid gnomes? Sounds like a stupid... Yeah? Why don't you go eat shit? Giants? That the best you got? Yeah? Why don't you go eat shit, Tequila? There's Do you always try to pick the lamest option possible? Yeah? Damn right it doesn't. No one knows. Some say he stalks Martinez to this day.
Aye. I saw him one night when I was right shit-faced.
He breathes.
The tale, there are
Are you
Shut
in the...
Our what she doesn't know is that her peace is about to be shattered. From behind... What? With no head on his shoulders. Wearing a found tracksuit. Searching for the legendary found cap that... If I hadn't locked Gertrude...
Tell him about...
Fuck, right. The wind... The women...
Don't turn around.
When she... But there... Ula, her body... Word on... Gave... Anyway... That no one...
Aye. I saw him one...
I actually do have one. The strangest... Do you have anything to fortify old Doom Spiral? Tell me you got some story juice. If you find any, I'd be extreme... You too, Tick...
The noxious odor emanating...
Don't you call her? Yeah! Don't call Abigail! Abigail. Oh, Abigail. Uh-huh. Abigail. Don't you fucking...
Abigail is his wife or girlfriend. Never thought you'd see such a thing in your life. But this guy's a little too drunk.
Abigail? No, no. Don't call Abigail!
The man hiccups, then mumbles something unintelligible. The drunk man, he does not sound well at all. He snorts and beckons you to lean in closer.
Don't call Abigail. Don't call. Don't call. Don't call.
There's no waking him.
Don't call.
There's no...
Tequila Sunset.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 40 month construction period and the a drop in temperature, an easy flow there, an empty street before you, a thorough, chemically sweetened. Across the road, a forgotten bus stop. The road is smooth and motley, craters filled with a black asphalt. The asphalt, a tub warm with water, white with soap. A man bathes while radio waves. His boyfriend is on his way home. He brings tins of meat and vegetables with him. Their pockets are number 312D. Young girls used to come here, huddled up, hoping for more warmth than their craters pocked the surface. Children played in them until heavy trucks full of black pig. There's one bump on the road. A dead dog lies flat about 200 paces. Tragedy comes from the wheels of a fast RCM vehicle, hurrying to work. The wind moves the aerosol. A detective stands behind. You hold in your hand the colorful primer. The title reads, this book will show you the score. Get you oriented with those base, the alphabet. Every page has one word designating one letter of the alphabet with a faded illustration. A is for azimuth. B, H is for homeboy. I is for Q is for quasar. That's it. You know the alphabet now. You stare at the the back cup. She can't be in cold, as ethnic. It would fit. Fuck it. Do it. It can't be worse than what you've already felt. You've made the right life choices today, sir. The note is written with a blue pencil on the note. Are you serious? Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. According to the note, perhaps someone who belonged to... Sounds like a question for a detective. Someone has scribbled. S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home.
Hi, officer. Anything I can help you with? Are you now? I guess men with authority have their quirks. What brings you here, lawbringer? A fishing village on the seashore. This place doesn't really have a name. The sign on the street leading here is illegible. Has been. The name is Lillian. People call me Netpicker. I think I have time for questions.
Indeed. Ask her about the cool sword. Helps to break the ice.
Unfortunately, the factory sold this one with a 3-year warranty instead of a story. It's to intimidate folks, mostly. Not really. I know some basic moves, and I know it sure as hell beats a knife when you're in a tough spot. It's a regular mass-produced sword, like a shovel or an axe. From time to time, people need a lesson in respect. That's just the way it is. Back in the day, I caught the eyes of many men. And believe me, men need a lesson. No, I'm afraid not. Tempting to confiscate the blade I used to keep these
She refuses, but your word... Is she flirting with you? A little? You think she might be.
What makes you think we haven't? That goes for men too. But they...
That does not go for real men. It does not go for you. Coach means the expression.
Oh? Believe me, everyone...
Sounds like she prefers her men to be less real.
Some went to patch their wounds, their lesson learned. Others were more thick-headed. Guess I enjoyed the way he bled.
If it is, then why the melon?
Gone.
The harbour seawall endures the wash of the freezing waves. Many things wash up against it and onto the beaches of Rivershore. Some inanimate, some just no longer alive.
To the waves. The sea took him. It was a long time ago. Who knows? Maybe he fell over. He didn't respect the sea. Went out there drunk like a skunk. Now, before you tell me how sorry you are for my loss, know that it was 4 years ago, and I...
She really liked those muscles, though. It's in the way she pronounces sinewy.
Us working folk don't have the luxury to be bedsick with melancholy. Life didn't really change that much for me and the kids.
This is neither a touchy nor a very interesting topic for her. She looks like she's ready to go on a date with another, better, drunk. Ask her. Both of you could need some action.
Let's see. Who are you looking for? Okay. When did this person stay here? Oh. I've been out on the sea for most of the past week. Yes, that's the optimal time. Got to make the most of the calm. Sorry I couldn't help you out. Maybe I don't think I know what these are. Care to elaborate? Aha! Like snowmen. 2 odd guys have been wandering around here. Nose in sand, talking nonsense about snow... Right. Not only snowmen, also green men, monkey... Don't really know. Further down the peninsula, I guess. I mean, that's where they were heading. Who else are you looking for beside... Yeah, I'm not really looking for that anymore. Not much into the middle-class ones either. I wish I could help you with that, but I haven't seen your working-class husband.
She seems genuinely sorry for not being able to help you.
Really? Are you... A lot of stuff. Oh, there's plenty missing. But that's too much for even an eager terrier like you to handle. Although you seem very thorough. Tell me, instead, is there something else I can help you with? Sure is. The sun, I call her. Coated with a fresh layer of tar just yesterday. It'll take some time for it to dry. Like I said, fish mostly. Sail the waves, take care of the kids, pick nets. Right now, I sell the fish to people in the Delta to serve at their fancy. Sometimes I also walk to the beach to...
This is what is called a conversation. You don't have to be guarded right now.
Wood, pieces of glass. Every once in a while we see dead body. Bottles, drugs also. Lost cargo in general.
All right. Major choice moment. You only get to ask one thing. It would be weird to say that. Mines. Mines. You need mines.
Well, the RCM has to wait for another one, because some army folks came by, took it in the middle of the bay and blew it up.
Spiky must have been a naval contact mine.
Unbelievable. You are looking for more lost things. It's a good thing, too, that he has an actual police officer looking for it. Good old doom spiral. Upper management to the core. How sweet of you. It really is. I check around the abandoned fish market on the boardwalk. Drunks are inexplicably... If one of them lost something, that's as good a place to start looking as any. Oh? Who? Really? A lot of stuff. I guess that makes you into some sort of terrier. Either way, I... I'll just keep the corda lacey in the channel, if that's okay. It's too... Aye, ma'am. And it's a jetty, by the way. Of course. Jetty. I prefer a good... Hello, detective. It's good to see you here. I only just arrived from... Nothing, really. I've had my eye on this jetty for weeks now.
That. And she's also keeping an eye on you.
Spying has such a negative connotation. I did track your pro... Then there's the matter of that little scamp in old lady clothes. She threatened to paint the cordelate she read. Like blood you...
What is this? Destruction of property? Hooliganism? Elder abuse?
No need. Lillian and I are getting on much better. For one, she appreciates... How do I like it?
Water drips down eaves of Eternite. The smell of salt and dog...
It's pornographically poor. The street has no name. All the men are dead or I'm surprised that woman hasn't put me to the sword yet. Maybe she will.
Dark eyes survey the coast leading up to Martinez. Dull grey, real men, real politics, real thoughts in your head.
Oh, I'm not frightened, officer.
Above you, there forms a quilt of altocumulus clouds. Their cloud shadows slide over the ruins of Revachon. It's early spring, and the rains are coming. An officer enters a low hut of stone. They're antiques, says Lieutenant John, the archetype. The children carry them up. Come May, the streets will be flooded.
Have I told you how they discovered this place? No, they're in Sealindian, Isla. I'm guessing you don't know then. Well, your condition has left you no worse off than most of these people. The literacy rate is around 45% west of the river. 50 years of occupation have left these people in... I knew you would sympathize. Most Revacholians will never know what this place... Remind me to tell you one day. For now, how can I assist you in this... I hear you have singled out a suspect and are in pursuit.
This story she will tell only before she...
Maybe there is something else I can assist you with while you're hot in pursuit?
She's not even asking you anything. It's so easy to...
A referral, you mean? I take it this was for someone in the RCM. Don't answer that. Oh my. A real door. My. What I'm hearing is... You inspect and... In the process, you turn...
Her bartering mind cannot fathom that you didn't ask anything in return.
Yes, that's the talk about town. The Hardy Boys. Misinformation. This is all because we haven't shared information. Hurry up on that probe. The moment you tell me you're finished at the traffic jam...
She must really want you to look into the drug. She was worried for a moment that she's over...
How benevolent. Hopefully they'll help you sort this whole business out, if they haven't already. Oh my.
Her mind races to the conclusion that most...
It looks like you may untie this knot yet.
There's something in you that really likes the way she's looking at you just now.
How benevolent. Hopefully they'll help you sort... It looks like you may...
There's something in you that really...
Brinkmanship or saber rattling? Was he surrounded by...
No. It was more like he wanted things to get worse. In secret, of course.
Or he wants you and me to believe he's calm and in control. I'll think it over, Detective.
This gave her pause. Have I underestimated the Union's ferocity?
What you've said is quite enough. You've given me a lot to consider, and may have helped me prevent this conflict from escalating. Did you now? I disagree. It's very curious. What else? Sounds like he has you running errands, Detective. A well-established dominance ritual. Where did he have you? Here? Oh no. What does that bloated hell?
It's clear the village has already grown dear to her.
No, don't tell me. I don't want to know what he has in store for this place. A giant statue of him. Or better yet, his twin brother. Practically the same thing, but makes him seem less like a psychopath. A youth center with Edgar Clare's statue on top of it.
The humidity crawls under your skin. Your eyes track her gaze, past the net picker, toward the concrete square of the nameless village off the coast of Martinaise. The concrete plates cross to meet in an abstract shape. In them, small...
Go ahead. Help him. Make it so. I have no power to stop him. What? 35, I think.
The prints are hers.
I should be. In my youth, I had a brief dalliance here and he's probably dead by now. Even his shack is long gone. Yes, I was slumming it with some girlfriends of mine. We had... not overly so. It's not like this was the only place we visited. We told ourselves we were the worst thing to happen.
She's sentimental, all right. You don't know enough about her to find out why exactly.
First, there won't be a youth center. Whatever he's told you or the residents, there'll be something horrific. A fishery. I've been speaking with Lillian here. She gave me the idea. Sadly, it's just one of the million things I'll never get round to. I just have to accept that I'll never be the rich candy girl who goes around solving people's problems. Yes. I'm sad I'll never have the time to take...
She is more defensive about it.
Full of ghosts and ancient memories. Has this errand yielded you any information? Of course, Detective. You can always drop by later, should something come up. Now, what we do... I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole.
She nods.
Of course. Of course.
Don't tell her you've met Everard right away. There's time.
Of course. Anything. I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything. Glad to have been... You're back. Good. What can I... Matter of fact, I don't. I have a medical condition of my own. Nothing unusual, though. I'm old, you see. Thank you. I do what I can to remain... More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Glad to have been... You're back. More lessons in basic reality?
What is all of this?
What world? The only one, I suppose.
The camera of her mind glides over the...
Great bodies of water, forest-covered surfaces, clusters of light.
A frisson lifts the hair on the back of your arm.
The world is a suzerainty of Revachol.
There is a term of endearment they coined for it in the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on Elysium. It does. There are those who would... A term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk Petro... Oh, you want a picture of the world? Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the We used to think it was a sphere, but that is beginning to look less and less likely by the day. You wouldn't know it from the tabloid.
ORG. Occident Revachol.
There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big three scientific... Yes. Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas.
A cold fear seeps into you.
You seem to be spooked. Please don't be. They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living. I am sorry, dear. It must sound quite terrifying through the acute encephalopathy. But this is one of the greatest questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together. You have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it. But you already have.
The cold seeps into you. Suddenly, you're conscious of yourself standing there, on whatever this all is. Your arms hang.
The Pale is not, technically speaking. It is the opposite of reality. Okay. The Pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separatist Isla is a Messinian word for a continent of matter, enveloped on all sides by the Pale. Also, isolation. Mundi, Seol, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Katla, and this, an oceanic isla. It comprises mostly of water. Muindi is the largest, Katla the coldest, Insulinde the bluest. What can I say? Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The Pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other, or no, Detective. We're safe. It begins there, 6,000
As your gaze instinctively turns north, a small black pit.
Yes. That is enough. An uproar of matter, darling. Rising into the... Imagine a grey coronal mist. Cold vapor. The most disco...
You hear your pulse rise. The air feels caustic and cold.
It's difficult to describe. Or even... The further into Pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension. Right down to the mathematical. Numbers. Oh, it is so difficult for...
A squall of birds. Hardware.
It is possible to force dimensions on the Pale. In modern times. But it is still hard for humans to navigate the Pale without getting lost. Extensively. Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that they call it the blend over of the self. The Pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of... It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International...
It's more for her. Way more.
No, Lieutenant Dubois. I'm entreprenetic business class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of...
Perhaps that explains a strange pining up. Someone else you've met may have been exposed as well. The strange grey-haired woman in her lorry.
Yes. Carried in the hulls of airships. It's a horrific job. Automation...
You should ask the PAL driver about this. See what she says. That poor woman must have stories to tell, like you wouldn't imagine.
Up to my gill.
An acidic smile on her lips. It's getting worse every year.
Entreprenetics is the scientific study of the Pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of Grad. The study of the Pale reaches back. There are signs of pre-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the Pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive nothing. We remain powerless before the Pale. The only real advance in Pale transit is the speed. Hybrid airships, Detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended. In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end. If we throw them precisely. Then they don't.
Gone, like a skipping stone beneath the surface.
The Pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more Pale than there is matter. What do you think, Detective? Oh no, Detective. It's not. One of the few measurable... An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the Pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists. Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organized, I suggest you do.
Off we go. You see the hanged man's man.
One and all. They say Pale is death.
Why should we just leave and leave? and the world get left behind?
Yes, sweet reality. But is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything? Then tell me, what do you think of the Pale?
Your ailing constitution, sweat.
You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you don't know even this, then... I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest...
Some of that assurance is meant for herself.
You have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time. What world?
The camera of her mind.
Great bodies.
Freezon lifts the hair.
There is a term, Elysium. There are those who... A term of hatred. Let's. I am, after all, bourgeois and female. The Pale is... It is the... Of course. The Pale... It is the... Okay. Isola is windy, an oceanic, achromatic, odorless, featureless. Yes. Is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember? Beyond curious. Tell me, what do you think?
Your ailing constitution.
You really didn't know. This doesn't... I hope so.
Some of that assurance is meant for herself, as much as it's meant for you.
You have me. I will assist. Glad to have been of assistance. Waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. Simmer down. Oh, that's good to know, I guess. Why is it in the sea? This calls for a funeral, if you ask me. Aye. Feels deserved, don't you think? Falling in the line of duty like that and all. Why odd? Our things are a part of our life world.
Life world? Someone's been reading up on last century Gotwaldian philosophers. Played.
Oh yeah? You won't even be able to get it out of the water before early June. Take it from someone who's been through a few...
It's going to be quite a few years before nature is able to completely take care of a motor carriage. You could always come back in a few months and see if you still want to give it a proper send-off.
I understand, believe me. I really do. But daydreaming is a rich man's game. At sea, you can't afford to be careless.
The light vanishes inside the concrete slit. The structure goes, maybe it's just a storm drain for the sewer. There's no echo. And a metal payphone under a yellow plastic. You hear the tone. The machine is inoperable. Calling. Still calling. This feels wrong. Should you be doing this? End of tone.
Pierre, is that you, Pierre? So nice of you to find the time to call me. It gets so lonely. Even are you sure you're people?
Her voice is drowned in white noise. Sounds like waves washing a beach, growing in volume until the calls. Calling. Still again. Someone with...
Hello, Gerard.
Hello, Gerard. Technically speaking, your electricity.
No, but I got a feeling I'll kick your ass is gonna make an appearance.
Phone. Disconnect tone. Calling. 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 Still call. Still.
Stop calling me, man. I'll get you your money, alright? I just need till tonight. Let me work. Testis. Hey!
Disconnect tone. Calling.
I'm tired.
Sounds like he hasn't talked to anyone in quite a while.
Writing. I hate writing.
The man. You do not hear the customary disconnect tone. Seems like it did not have time to swallow. Lucky you. The call went too fast for the payphone to register. You can still make a new one without paying. You close your eyes and feel your finger move on the... Followed. Still. Time. What were you trying to achieve by closing... Home? He doesn't have his own. It's really time to stop this now.
You're back. Good. What can I help you? More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask.
What is all of this?
What were?
The camera of her
Great bodies of...
Freezon lifts the hip.
The well.
There is a term... Elysium. It does. A term of hatred that originates... Oh. Great things... We used to think...
Oh,
There's a steady... Yes.
a cold fear seeps into you.
They say I am so... But this is one of the greatest questions. You have misimagined... It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. But you already...
The cold seeps into you. Suddenly, you're conscious of...
The pale is... It is the opposite. Okay. Isola, windy, and oceanic. Achromatic. No detective.
As your gaze...
Yes. And up... Imagine...
You hear your pulse.
It's the further into pale you Oh.
A squall of...
It is, but it is still hard for human extents. Some say they call it the it feels.
It's more for...
No, Lieutenant.
Perhaps someone else you've...
Yes.
You should ask. That poor woman must have stories to...
Up to...
An acidic smile on her...
Entrepreneur. There are nothing. Hybrid in essence. Then they...
Gone. like a
The pale app. What do you think, Detective? Precisely. An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day, most people, I suggest...
Off we...
One at...
Why should we just leave and leave?
Yes. Is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything? Then tell me, what do you think of the Pale?
You're ailing.
You really didn't know. I hope so.
Some of that.
You have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time. Glad to have been of assistance. Waves are beginning to die down. Oh. Wasn't feeling it. Aye. Feels deserved. Why odd?
Life world.
Oh yeah. Take it.
It's going to be quite a few years before.
I understand. But daydreaming.
The light vanished. Maybe it's just as there's no. A metal pave. You hear the tone. Calling. Still, this feel end of tone.
Pierre, is that you, Pierre? So nice of you to find the time to call me. It gets so lonely. Even are you sure you're...
Her voice is drowned in white noise. Calling. Still calling. Again, someone.
Hello?
Hello, Gerard. Technically speaking, your electricity.
What are you, like 5? Thanks for coming.
Phone hanging up. Disconnect. Calling, calling, calling. Still call. Still.
Stop. I'll get you your money, alright? I just need till tonight. Let me work. My debt? I don't fucking owe you. It's...
Disconnect. Tone. Calling.
I'm tired.
Sounds like he hasn't talked to anyone in quite a while.
If I could go just 1 month with her.
Man, you do not hear. Seems like lucky you. The call went too fast for the payphone to ring. You close your eye, it's strange. This is not how you started before. You dialed 001. This is not the area code of River. 41441117 Your fingers keep moving. Yes. 451-67-4451. You have dialed God knows how many numbers. The headset an ultra long distance call. Your air fills with the crackle, the wash of a strange ocean full of white noise. A little bird starts calling in the saddest sound, both pitiful and terrifying, calling still. Ringing by the bedside of a dark but capacious apartment. The handset starts slipping from your sweaty palm. Your breathing is heavy. You just do, and you know it is going to hurt. Callings. Then the ocean breaks. Out of the depths, a woman.
Hello? Who is this? No. It's you, isn't it? It's you. Dora. Who is this?
Dora. The name feels like a gift. And fight. In the distorted distance, you hear someone turning next to her. Bed springs rattle. No answer. You're not sure, but you think you hear a man's voice in the background. It's...
What? Oh no. Is that you?
This is too much. You need to recede.
Oh no, not this. What time is it? You're not a Kingsman, Harry. You're drunk.
You only have 2, maybe 3 things left to say before the change runs out.
Oh, God. Do you know what time it is? It's so late here. It's 4 o'clock, Harry. I need to wake up in 2 hours. What do you want to talk about that we haven't...
This is bad. You feel your right hand on the handset cramping up with pain.
I'm in my rover, sleeping. Oh no, please stop. Please, let's just have to work. The academy, where I work.
No response, only a sigh. The connection crackles like burning paper. She does not answer anymore.
Harry.
Disconnect tone. The machine ran out of money. Run to the church, home, anywhere but here. Anything but calling her again. You dial the number again. 26 pulls of the rotary dial. The machine in the middle of calling. 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 It looks like she does not want to pick it up, Harry. Stop scaring her. Come on. You know why. The headset lands in the cradle with a clank. You dial the number again, as you've done many. Calling, 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 and calling for who knows how long, but no. Punch it again. The cold metal is hard and your knuckles bleed. Fuck it. It didn't give you any fun for that money. A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. There's a bit life is garbage. Someone has left an unidentifiable article of clothing on the cloth, if you can still call it that. Makes a soft crunching sound. It's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. It seems likely that it was left in the surf until someone laid it out on this fence. Much as the thought of touching it causes you to cringe, this could be the jacket that As you hold it in your hands, it makes an uncomfortable crunch. It's probably... As you hold it, it's a sordid, filthy tale, not for the weak. Are you sure it occurs to you that you're not even holding? It smells like a dead sea creature, tangled in grey strands of seaweed. It must have spent quite some time in the water before... Why did you think about it? Look at your hands. They're covered. Now you're just flicking that shit everywhere. This... As you hold it in your hands, there is no why. The worn mat features the patchwork grid. As you hold it in your hands, it makes an... There is no why. The smell, it's awful and familiar. Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency. Something cold wakes in the pit. It is death. It must be. A sense of dread washed. There's some tear, an empty cigarette packet, 2 empty bottles of Tallulah. No, there's more in there. Livis strawberry, whoever tossed it. Now, this makes partying look bad. Still, don't you see traces of mayonnaise and ketchup on it? It's hard to concentrate in the smell. The sea. A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at, and half of his body has slipped between the cracked boardwalk. The smell is not as bad as a 2-week-old corpse. Another dead body. Calm now. Carefully. Just another day. Just another dead body. Breathe. He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, a cool leather jacket with a bolt of... You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded into 2. His jacket. The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk. You have to be quite inebriated to fall that bad. Well, or maybe it was just dark. His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Height, 170 to 170. He was confused when he died. He was just about to. That's what the chewing gum. There's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. A dried chunk of blood. This is where he came out of himself. Drop by drop, the boards screech under the weight of the T500 ceramic sabatons. It's a good thing they're so light. You see waves churning below. Something cracked. A 0.75 liter Tallulah. It's mid-market spirits with a slight touch of menthol. Grabowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. The blackness of death. Stench confirmed. Nearly the whole pack is there. Solidified on his lower rear teeth. The entire board. First, you need to talk with the lieutenant. Then report back to the The library card is folded into 2 and still slightly wet. Billy is a unisex name. Could be the deceased or his family. Whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find a list of books written in. Most of these titles seem to be in the sci-fi. If lost, please return the card to the library. Dial 00502. You should first decide what to do with the corpse. There's some tear. It is the dead of night. Now is not the time for... It is the dead of...
Lowman. You caught me. And what is that? Oh, meu Deus. The Lowman's... And here I was, thinking you were...
Republica, a filterless cigarette from Misk.
Neither is spelled transportation. Life is transitory. Like Gabriel Buenguerro in Segúreme, Paraíso. You're the opposite of me, then. The smell of liquor on Gabriel's lips after the shoot. In the motor park. The look on her face, like an orgasm. The wound in her chest. My heroic doses. Thought insertion? Dithering? The Grad Catalan Magistral? When you've seen it all go away like that. Rolling. What are we doing here? For thousands of years, Gabriel. It doesn't have to be like this. Like looking into the ocean. You cannot see it, but you know it's there. Nothing. Until it starts. When you are deep enough.
Nostalgia. Cooped up in the cabin, shaking. Terrible nostalgia.
In the belly of an airship, behind the steel windows. No, the same one, a roller. They all are nowadays. Especially...
The wheels all small and round. Multi-axle trailers.
Yes. They say there's a point. One that I have not crossed. In the Pell, super deep. If you stray too far, of course, on the U41A. Or in Lomonosov's land. It's a point you cannot come back from. Your mind becomes so radiant. Maybe you've been down the motorway south. It's a story as lone horsemen tell. Lone horsemen and dark. And the process begins. Erasure. No one knows what's at the end. I've only felt it in the distance, when I was a child. A child growing on the lake. Josiane.
There is nothing more to do. She is receding in the... An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. It looks as if it's been reassembled piece by piece. An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. It looks as if it's been reassembled piece by piece. Secure. The more you ask... An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island. monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward, even by the standards of the Philippian. Well, he blew through the whole national treasury. His own maladministration foreshadowed the fall of the monarchy. Stories have it that he had his bedroom converted into a treasure chamber. He called it the Sol Aurum. It was obscene. There were whispers he slept on a huge pile of gold-dipped feathers, like some obese dragon, instead of a bed, like a normal person. But wait, you haven't even heard about his fable. You see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasury. Not just any nose candy, though. We're talking Royal Philippian blow, allegedly twice as potent as the stuff you find nowadays. And purple. Philippian cocaine. His Majesty's courtiers said it helped him connect. That's what the revolutionaries said. 100 of this is slander. The king was just and beautiful. Beneath the cold waters of the Insulindian Bay, a group of marble pleurons still surround the king's vandalized tomb. A deathly cold wind sweeps up candy wrap. The original was blown apart by communards, then further damaged during the landing. Most historians think the coalition's hasty landing may have ultimately saved the statue. If the communards... Some years ago, a group of liberal, artistically inclined individuals, designers most, the statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart, like an instant frozen in time, a rare butterfly trapped in amber, floating on the... People in Martinaise tend to disagree, as do many prominent art critics and thought leaders. Philip III, the squanderer, however, with his bronze face up in the air, doesn't seem concerned about what the hoi, a silver plaque. As you look up, you note something with great kinetic energy seems to have... Someone shot him in the heart. Interesting. A silver as you look up, someone... An old mod...
Does Kuno care? Here, pig. We're falling now. Performance buddies. Kuno can already see you soaring through the air like a fucking eagle. Pig's in Kuno's debt now. Money debt. Kuno doesn't... Does Kuno care? The fuck about it? You're get lost. Yeah? The kingdom of Kuno? Yeah, whatever. Kuno does... Yeah? The fuck? A mug in the trash? Is this about the... Yeah? I can't eat... Shit, that...
The kid may have...
Kuno doesn't know. Stop turning it... Yeah? Get your... Look at... Fuck does... It's a trap. Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. The fuck do you want with it? It's a vite.
You could use...
Okay, oh, don't teach him, Kuno! You're not getting this, pig. Fuck you, pig! Don't... Good call, pig. Kuno do...
Hi again, gendarme. Bye-bye, gendarme.
Can I help you? Got the 20 real? Then why are...
The lieutenant's door, no response. Still, where is he? Doesn't he want to go for anything to not face the hanged disco man yet? You hear the sound of a drawer closing, followed.
Is that you, Harry? What time is it? To clear our heads.
Sleep is what he needs most.
Good night, Harry.
The lieutenant... This medicine cabinet is stocked with pill bottles. Necra. Two neon-lit shapes, a man and a woman, having... It is possible that it came from... You can't know for... The lieutenant would probably agree that, in this situation...
The unpromising race pupil return. Raci.
Welcome. True.
Your silence betrayed. I am not the hardy. Now leave on.
There must be.
Mr. Also, to serve jam. Individual. Of I am not.
Miss Head. Stop. This is the night. You're back before the cargo container. It's...
Oh, hey, mister.
This is the flag of Revachol, the suzerainty. This isn't just one sun, but there are little suns dancing around the big sun. It's an optical atmospheric anomaly the first settlers saw. It is but one of the many strange optic atmospheric phenomenon of this wondrous archipelago. You're sure you once saw sundogs in your youth. The flag accepts your honorable salute with quiet. A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts her youth. This door is no one answers. No one answers. No one answers. The aging alcoholic is still there. A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. The name on the plinth reads, Kraz. The bust doesn't reply. The hallway behind the door, a warm feeling fills you as the bust doesn't reply. The hallway behind the door is empty. No one heard you. The bust doesn't reply. A poor communard.
Hello again, officers. Have you come?
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. Why does art inspire you so much? Excellent question. Art is a diverse range of visual, literary, or in short, art is the highest form of human. Have you looked in the mirror lately? You have the exact features of a savage art critic, with that beard and those clothes. Of course not. It's autism, box drawing, masturbation with a ruler, and only the most experimental kind. Yes, you seek substance. No vapid representations and reproductions of social mores as made manifest. Exactly. It's not only your duty to only catch the criminals off the street. Go ahead and provide savage Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. Just an ordinary wall. Yeah. Why? It's a wall. Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. This orange machine is, you slip your fingers under the frozen. No, this is going to need something else. Some kind of, if you want to try again, then you need to have the pry.
Equip the pry bar by going...
The bear's eyes are... The bear's eyes, a friendly cup. The paper still smells of... A thick layer of coal dust. It's dark. The echo is so prominent. It's impossible. Maybe it's coming from, or maybe you're just, it's dark. The echo is so, maybe it's coming, or maybe you're just, it's dark. The echo is so prominent. Maybe it's coming from somewhere, or maybe you're just hung up. It's dark. The echo is so prominent. Maybe it's coming, or maybe you're just hung over again. A lush layer, you feel the spirit of Ramut Karzai, ancient hero, 3 dangerous. What a proud warrior. This is how the hunted becomes the hunter. A lush layer, you feel the spirit of Ramut Karzai, ancient hero of Grad. Pulse, yes. This old fire diagram, the whole thing resembles Kadran history classes, students with their textbooks open, studying the roots of our civilization. This old fireplace, a diagram, the whole thing, radio frequency, unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins, perhaps. Looks like they must have had massive air width. These things, whoever a list of all of this is, there's nothing. Your flashlight, some of the writing has faded with age. These translude. Who are all the one of the Welkins? It's the hull door. Your eyes glide over the photo entire you see, albeit a pinned postcard. This, it looks, everyone is so minimi stands for a, as time goes, a note in the bottom, the handwriting, the full outside.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die? Of course. Tell me what you have in mind. Ah, yes. Fortress Axe, the Wiro untethered die, is a variation of a...
Ice, death.
I'm thinking something made from alligator jawbone, cast in black resin. The reptile bone is as white as ice and dead as, well, it's an icositetrahedron, a 24-sided die that can produce results for 2-sided, 3-sided, 4-sided, 6-sided. An untreated bone is porous and prone to chipping. Cast it in something hard like resin. Maybe you have some... What do you mean by cursed? Alright, how about I surprise you? Come back in 8 hours with 7 real. Maybe you have some other ideas for a star that fell from the firmament? Those cost more than 7 real. Are you sure? Yes, you definitely have the proper attitude. How about a pair of 100-sided...
Pieces of lodestone were used as the first magnetic compasses, from which they derived their other... That's a stone for leaders.
10 real, and I can get these ready in 8 hours. It's true, magnetic dice are definitely different. When rolled together, the magnetic fields of the pips interact with each other to push and pull. Maybe you have some other ideas for dice? How about an amber die? Who told you amber was cheap? It's for 7 real, I'll craft you a 13-sided die from piece of amber with a fossilized insect. It's perfect for those who can't seem to let go. I had a feeling. Maybe you have some other ideas for die? A normal die? I'm a novelty dice maker. Polyhedral dice. Dice that have more than 4 sides. Come on now. Be a little creative. I think I have just the right one for you.
Police colors.
Not the most original, I know. But sometimes the obvious choice. Here, catch. They're a gift from me.
You overthink it. Your hands can't agree what to do, and the 2 dice drop to the floor and scatter in opposite directions, like pearls from a broken string. The blue one...
Down the drain, like your career. I apologize, officer. That comment was unnecessary. That one is made of bloodstone with a lapis lazuli inlay. The other one was... It's a shame. They might have brought you luck.
Is she pitying you?
Now, was there anything else?
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. Just an ordinary wall. Yeah. Why?
Oh, it's you again. Of course. Tell me what you have. I think...
Police color.
Not the most... Here, catch. They're a gift from me.
You overthink it. Your hands can't agree what to do, and the two...
Ah, down...
Her knuckles... That's right.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a... Of course. I think...
Police color.
You're a police officer, right? Here.
You overthink it.
Oh, it's you again. Of course. I think...
Police colors.
Not the most... Here, catch. They're a gift from...
Mr. Smooth Moves. You snatch the dice out of the air with one hand, just like you're in a movie.
Oh, what are the odds? The red one is made of bloodstone.
She winked back at you.
You definitely need luck in Martinez. Was there any... Of course. Ah, yeah, the weirdo.
Ice.
I'm thinking something made from alligator jawbone. It's an icosited, untreated bone, is porous, and maybe you have... What do you mean by cursed? Alright, how about I say maybe you have a star that fell from the firmament? Yes, 10 real, and it's true. Magnetic, maybe you have some other ideas for... How about... For 7 real, I'll craft you a third. I had a feeling. Maybe you have some abnormal dad. Polyhedral. Come on now. No need to rush. Take a look around, see if anything inspires you. Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
A gust of cold air sweeps through the chimney. The stones and minerals on the shelves rattle as though agitated. For a moment, it almost feels as though you're outside the building, exposed to the atmosphere.
Didn't we already talk about this? What are you talking about? My address is
No, the old coal plant that used to be here was subsumed into the new venture. Its ruins swallowed up.
This doesn't make any sense. Are you saying my business was spared because of a technicality? Where is this coming from? And what?
Don't let her become complacent. She still needs to ward her soul against the evil forces. She starts laughing. Her fingers try.
Do you know what this is? It's a mourning ring. I made this when my first company failed. It was a small jewelry shop right here. I drove it into the ground within a year. I didn't have what you would call a viable business plan. No, you're right. I didn't. It wasn't just a jewelry shop either. I always thought that it was. And now you're telling me what? That it was all because I didn't run my little shops and ventures from a dump inside an abandoned chimney? Yeah. Or maybe it's the entire world. That's why people like role-playing games. You can be whoever. It's like every time you cast a die. But anyway, thanks for sharing your theories, officer.
The barbell waits patiently on the floor, like a dog for its master. The barbell waits patiently on the floor, like a dog for its master. You managed to see? Maybe it was. barbell waits patiently on the floor, like a dog for its master. Conjuring up an inhuman amount of strength, you raise the barbell up in the air. Your biceps tremble, but a warm wave of accomplishment wash. Hey, but you're still in the ghost house. What if someone... No, it's not that. It's just a memory from an... A cockatoo is... This book talks of where to eat pet owners. It is not your right. Ouch. Not great. This is a boo. Perhaps in the word it must... This is boo. Perhaps in the words it must be. Despite the bang is your right. Ouch. Not great. Where to even pet owners. It is not recommended. Perhaps in the words it must be. This boo. Despite the bang. Despite its bang. The bang. Where to eat pet owners, or it is not perhaps in the word it must be you hold in your the alphabet. Every page A, H is Q, that's it. You know, the alphabet, the alphabet. Every page, of course, U. Every page, of course, U. You don't. You stare at the back cover. She can't be much older than in cold, as ethnic tension. It would physically fuck it. Do it. You've made the right. scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other. The density and spread of these bullet holes is surprising. This takes a lot of bullets. Fully automatic rifle. A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner. A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall. A row of ghostly shades stand facing the wall. There are many of them, a dozen at least. They're 10 meters away. Other shades are lined up in an orderly manner. Automatic rifles primed. Snowflakes fall on the wooden planks, and a long time has passed since the moment of this fusillading. Rain and the abundance of bullet holes leads to two options. Either an inordinate amount of executions were performed here, or they did not use a conscience round, where only one soldier has the loaded rifle. A host of men, probably in everyday clothes, ragged from the conflict and covered, they stand, facing ordinary people, familiar, foreign dissidents, unwashed criminals. Maybe you should change it. 7 men in combat uniforms and dark coats, holding automatic men of duty, martyrs of the nation, the ardent knights, the few who had the guts to do this. The commandant, the one who gives the order, machine gun fire crackling through the air, the lights of the muzzle. I'm just a representation of your mental faculties, piecing together any available information. A cold sea wind behind this building, the other one, once filled with engineers and designers of a row of ghostly shades facing a crumbling wall, with another 7 shades, a cold sea behind this. A metal and plastic contraption bobs up and down amidst the tremor. This must be the boy, Clausy. Yes, spindly extremities have been here. Snap the cords keeping the boy in place. Moves across the water, leaving no traces. You're cold again. Splendor. The boy is not tied to anything. The cords dangling from the bottom really have been torn or cut. You lift it out of the number 11 has been written on the yellow plastic. It's primitive construction, but there's something in there. It smells like you would expect it to smell. And just a dash of hard liquor. The water this side of a shot glass's worth of seawater pours out. Somehow, another identity misplaced. There must be some cosmic conspiracy of... The boy continues to be mostly empty. No answers appear to you in the... You could ask the miss what she thinks. Late, the boy continues to... No answers appear to... You could ask... The boy continue... No, you could ask...
Go. Nice and easy.
There's a cylinder on the ground in which the man is arranging.
Who's there?
Is that the police? Why are the police?
Don't worry, Gary. I'll handle it. To what do I owe the pleasure? Of course. Thank you for passing along the message. That damn water lock is broken. And we can't go all the way. You broke the water lock with a motor carriage. But there was a billboard in the canal. Not a vehicle. It said Samaran Butter.
Did he say we can go?
Yes, Gary. We can go soon. I just have to do one more round. See if the phasmid has taken the bait. Then we're going. I'm afraid not, officer. I've been busy digging around in the reeds for... Well, first of all, it's damn difficult. Good question. Being a phasmid of the order Phantasmodea, a ghost insect. And I suspect it may have also developed other specialised techniques. It's my hypothesis that it has evolved certain electrochemical defences that allow it to... But I cannot describe how these defences...
Yes. It makes perfect sense. You're beginning to suspect...
I'm expecting it to be quite giant. One known species of phasmid, called the Megaphasmodea...
Seems puny, to be honest.
Typical rookie assumption. Insects are much more... Even simply catching a glimpse of the Insulindian phasmid would be the apex...
Would be glory itself.
Very little, I'm sorry to say. No one's ever captured it. Not yet. That's what makes it a cryptid. I know it's real. By which I mean, I've heard enough firsthand.
What would it be like to grasp and hold onto something you think is next to you, or just behind you? Like a trace of vapor you exhaled one spring morning.
Yes, the most recent sighting. It's the first credible sighting in several decades. Admittedly, it's an unusual... I have to resist the thought. Such an extraordinary... Yes. The females don't need males to reproduce. Makes it easier for a species to survive. Yes. The Insulindian phasmid is a very clever insect. Well, they may not look impressive, but Lena designed them quite cleverly. Yes. Simple. Attracted by the locusts. At least, that's the intention. The net isn't a... Locusts. Nearly all known phasmids are herbivores, of course.
Inside the traps, a meat-eating stick insect. Does it pretend to be the reeds as part of its ambush behavior?
Thank you for your opinion. We have...
Not a big fan of skepticism, this one.
They'll work, I assure you. The predatory hypothesis.
The traps do seem to be deftly and thoughtfully constructed. It's clear that cryptozoologists want...
Yes. What? By woe, man, you mean my wife, I assume? My wife understands.
Come on, Morel.
And leave the traps?
Come on, she wants us back.
Of course it's important to her. She's seen it. A verified site. Yes, that's how we...
Needless to say, you must...
Suffice to say, it's long been our dream to find proof of the Insulindian phasmid together. I can't abandon course now. No. The traps...
He's dead set on... I could go for...
I didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer. Yes, indeed. Both require great deal. There are 4 in total. One is to the south, on this little peninsula. Another we set in Land's End, to the northeast. It's behind a small... The third is set near the canal, where you crossed. You should check at least one of those before returning to this one, since I just said it. This one's more... Bring it to me at once. Just make sure the trap is closed. That's highly unlikely, officer. But in the event you do, it's made of musk and research chemicals. The pheromone should attract the insect to you, or at least prevent it from bolting at the sight of you. It's quite potent. Will act...
This is the smell of dying reeds, of longing cry.
Thank you for your help.
Finally, you're being sensible. I'll start packing right...
If it's more cryptid-related business you want to discuss. But what if the information is vital? On the hunt.
I've just always liked animals.
He seems reluctant to talk about himself.
It's not child's play. Just because I have to trade through the mud... Real. I know you think one is a respectable profession, while the other is superstition. Everyone does. My methods do not...
Your nerve endings tell you there is no such thing as a positive surprise.
Agreed. Yet, no, as I said, I have yet to catch a cryptid. Everything from forgotten regional lore to newspaper... No. Very few cryptids are ever... Of the list of cryptids kept by the Cryptozoological Society of Shem, 2 are categorized as confirmed discoveries. The rest... Yes. The Chateau Quan forest pygmy, who turned out to be an extinct species of prime. We cryptozoologists are brutally honest with ourselves. More so even than the public. With cryptid... Indeed. If our expedition is successful...
The hair on your arms stand up. He has clearly done his math on this. There is no...
Yes? All right.
We would have to discuss. You need to ask him about specific
A willow person. It's a long story. They're not people, really. Some argue they aren't. They're very, very thin. Almost flat, in fact. And can camouflage themselves easily. Wrapping themselves around... You probably have. Gary and I painted an entire grove's worth of trees in slow-drying paints. After waiting in hiding for hours, I saw a figure slip from one of them. I chased it with a net. Not very elegant. I know it sounds like we were snacking on funny mushrooms, but I did see motion and colour. Mine is not a confirmed sighting of a cryptid, however. Confirmed. It's 100% verified and meets all the standards of an elf. I'm guessing you heard about it from LAYK.
A warm wave passes him.
We travelled to South Safra to look for it once. The search was fabulously
What? South Safra?
Really?
They're a nascent culture.
Yes, back to cryptozoology. You don't want to sow
Formerly the most dangerous, yes.
He doesn't want to make it feel like you...
The most dangerous cryptid is a carnivorous ruminant, yes. The dread moose subsists entirely on flesh. There's even been... Human remains have been found deep in the forest, just like an ordinary hardened moose. You can't. That's what makes it...
A moose that looks like any other moose. What's going on here? He's kidding, right?
You're right to. The body... In fact, we may be close to capturing a live specimen. Modern genetic methods may prove crucial in differentiating... That's impressive, I guess. But have you seen it with your own eyes? Of course you haven't. I haven't had a chance to travel to Coco North. No, I fear this mindless barbarism.
Yes. Sightings of mirages are... It remains unclear what this has got to do with...
Oh, everyone knows about...
A bit of jealousy there. He'd want that glory.
Although, probably because her life ended as a result of her work in Gutler. A flightless cursor owl, found in the Seminine Isles. When it's not hunting its prey in this manner. Mijanu liked extreme animals, you see. One of the few figures... Oh, decades ago. In the 30s. I didn't know her... No offense, officer. But I'm not much of a... Me? I'm not a people person. Unless you... By all means.
Hello, I'm Gary. Very generous. I'm just waiting for my friend Morel to finish up with his insect traps so we can return to civilization. I like nature, just not this bloody coast. It's mostly drunks and degenerates that come here. Oh, I didn't mean it in any scientific way.
Serious question time. This man is no innocent. No one is.
Oh. So that's what the RCM in Martinez is about. Great. No. Nothing. He was some kind of... My mug? Why would you think that? How do you mean?
He's trying not to look afraid, because that would be incriminating. Yet, he is.
Okay, I admit it. I threw... You're not going to find me, are you? Whew. Thank you. You won't regret this. I don't know what got into me, really.
What did you do, Gary?
Nothing.
Here we go. Start pumping that sweet info.
I know a guy who works with the trash collection services. CS Municipal. So I can use the Whirling's trash compactor to store my own stuff. Garbage disposal is expensive as hell. The damn... I'm sorry, okay? I thought I could cut costs. I shouldn't have. Officer, please. Let me explain. I was only cleaning up. I live right across the yard from where he was hanged, and I saw him stripped naked. All the clothes lying around in the... Then I came out to clean up the rags, because no one else would. I put them into the whirl... Okay. I was coming to throw the muggle...
As he shifts uncomfortably, a series of clicks, like the clinking of glass beads against one another as they roll across a hardwood floor.
What sound? Really? There's lots of weird stuff out here in the reeds, though.
Every day, the wind shifts the reeds and whatever was left in them. Tambourines and condom wrap. The sound you heard was not the sound of something easily abandoned.
What? I haven't the slightest.
Every day, the sound you heard...
Armor? No. I mean, yes. Of course. I know he was wearing armor. But I don't know anything. I hope I can help your investigation. In my small way.
Don't be so relieved yet, Gary. This bad cop may have been in your apartment, admiring your mug collection. Perhaps a little intimidation?
No. I helped Morel with...
What does he do then? This feels like a good opportunity to dominate him.
Oh, this and that. Officer, I would never. I work as a special courier. You know. Oh, I don't know the contents, officer. Oh, this and that. Sometimes.
See, he's be...
I just didn't want to bore you. I work as a special courier. Yes, officer? Sure do.
His eye is narrow slightly. He's wondering where this is going.
In my home. Yes. When I was going to... How did you know? Mr. Clare unlocked my apartment? So you work for Everard Clare? Officer, please tell him we're good. No, tell him. What have I done? He'll send the muscle after me. Whatever it is, tell him I'm silent as the grave. I was probably... I won't do it again. If there's anything I can do to assist you...
This scared him proper. He's positively melting from fear. Has to prop himself up with a lot of anger to keep it together.
Always a pleasure to see an officer of the law.
Is he? He's looking comfortable enough. Maybe it was just beads. Sounded like beads. But what kind of beads?
Why would I do that, officer? But, officer, I'm not wearing any women's clothes.
Hear that? Magnesium. That's what you're lacking. The lack of the magnesium levels in your blood are dangerously low. It's about the low magnesium levels and not the high alcohol level. Yeah, the other things. Long live the other thing. Yes, and it's critical. Look at yourself. You're practically devolved. You need to get so magged up. You've probably had 2 heart attacks and a minor stroke already. And the only prescription is insane. Yes, if you want to live, you need to evolve. You need to transcend the carbon barrier. Just remember, it's not the alcohol, and it's certain, nor smoking for 40 years. It's the lack of magnesium.
Always a pleasure to see an officer of the law. Always a pleasure to see an officer of...
Okay, he keeps shifting.
Always a pleasure to see it. Always a pleasure to see an officer of the law.
That shirt looks very uncomfortable on him. Look at the buttons, barely keeping that. No, he's scrawny. Yes, like a piece of ceramic armor, for example. One that makes...
I knew you'd figure it out, officer. I'm sorry. I was ashamed of what I did. And I didn't want you to know.
This shame.
Gary! What's going... Later, Morale. I've got apologizing to do.
He sighs again, hangs his head, and unbuttons his shirt fully. A cuirass, but so light to hold, like a bag of cotton.
Everyone was picking those pieces off him, and I was watching them do it. And so I went there to take out the trash and started cleaning up. All those rags on the ground, only the cuirass was left. So I stripped it off him. It was early in the morning, no one saw me. I took it with me. It was because I was weak. I should have told...
The hell, Gary?
I'll explain later. I always thought it was the Union, but I sure as hell won't go around saying that anymore. You have my word. I don't know, and I won't be running my mouth on... Yes, absolutely. I will never do anything like this again. I won't mess with Mr. Clare either. You have my word.
You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled. A slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now the wind whispers and whispers. Winter, slow to let go of Revachol. Flex some. The snow falls lazily. And to think, the melting snow seeps through your thin clothes. Grandmothers don't let their grandchildren out dressed so lightly in this weather. More winding coastlines lined with abandoned buildings. Crumbling piers. The waters turn black. Coal city in the shadow of San Martin. No more. The coal was supplanted by petroleum from the ocean floor and hydropower below the old mines. L'Océan Municipal, where the Philippian kings were interred, with their doctors. Yes, to peel the children under 14, they go underground, looking for artifacts to sell to after rubies, melchiorite, lapis lazuli, plundered from Safle and 2 kilometers underground, in a winding shaft along whose the mausoleum contains untold quantities of gold. Did someone say untold How can it be pure if it's magenta? Snow falls, and there is no answer. Some few patira return from the shafts. All around her, white snow on the canal you crossed to get here and beyond it. Martinez proper, the district the police forgot to police. Someone is scraping snow off their windshield. At the roundabout, in the mid, like all monuments, it's also a warning. A fenced-off yard. There's a truck belonging to a logistics company. The abandoned church, one of 2 remaining stave churches, which a serpentine strip of land weaving its way into the Martinez Inlet. Unfortunates on the run from the law. The remains of a camp on a jagged piece of rock. A tent further out. The lights burn bright on Resurrection. Way beyond Martinez. Then there's Ozon. The Bay of Revachol. Vastness, great depth, over 1,200 meters, and at the farthest reaches of the Bay of Revachol, the raised motorway, 881, separating Martinez from Jamrock, was once a park, a place for reflection and recoup. The pox is completely wild now. Evergreen thickets, heavy drug users do slip through and hole up in the old military hospital. A line of motor garages with armored carapaces hunched in the cold. Around you, the snow continues to fall. To the west, the ocean swells. The stairs descend to central Jamrock. A man named Cooklove. Snow falls on the utility district. All of this built around a lake that formed in a meteorite strike. At the center of this lake, a chill comes over you, crawling down your back. Near, snow falls into dark water. That's all. Layer upon layer of sand, poisoned with industrial runoff. Someone stuffed a big old polar anorak into a concrete pipe under the boardwalk. It would keep you warm. You would probably never happen across it, but who knows? The spring thaw will come in earnest, just not yet. past the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door, the concrete structure, looks military in origin. Over half a century. An old door, worn by elements, guard. There's a trap in the reeds at your feet. Looks like the same one you saw Morel's. The reeds shake sadly in the coastal breeze. The wind picks up here. There's a trap. Locusts are crawling around in the trap, confused but uneaten. Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height, stand shut in front of you. The rectangle, nothing happens. Only high above, the wind wraps the church in its rush, cold and wet from the ocean bay. It parts around them.
There is a hole in my heart.
The carving on the door is block-like and angular, like the church itself. Two large beams shoot. The surface is smooth from the wind, but moist. This cheap-looking padlock is sturdily built. It shackles together a hasp and a staple screwed into the wooden. It'll be easier to break the staple than the lock. Also, that sticker is interesting. So you see a yellow circle with two X's and a big curve below them that looks like a mouth. You're pretty sure you haven't seen it before, but what the symbol depicts is this cheap-looking padlock is sturdily. It'll be easier to break the staple. The padlock passes through a staple that's been hastily attached to the wood. Closer inspection reveals that should you want to get through, it might be easier to just pry the whole thing off. Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height. There's nothing like the sound of a sticker unpeeling. Now it's stuck to your thumb. Looks like today was a gold star day. Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height, stand It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board. It's made of dark blue plastic with your hands. You four-sized paper. Arson. Petty. You don't exactly. Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height, stand shut in front of you. Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height, stand shut in front of you. You jam the pry bar between the lock and the pathetic old wood, rusty screws, and one nail. Stand no chance. Suddenly, the pry bar snaps. Metal shavings fly everywhere. The upper half, between the lock and the staple, falls to the ground with a thunk. The broken edge of the snapped pry bar is smooth. A bad omen. Beware of this. Your muscles do not know. This shouldn't happen. You're sure the wood looked weak. The church does not reply. The wood now seems less rotten. This was surely just a freak accident. Nothing happens. Only high above, the wind wraps the doors remain the carving on the door. The doors remain unchanged. This cheap-looking it'll be easier to break the staple than the lock. Also, that sticker is interesting. Somehow, the padlock passes through us. Should you want to get it's the ledger you found in it. Without resistance, the words just, who do you think? You. It's your hand. The acidic, like the bits they put into public piss bowls. Probably called, if you knew it was dunked in the toilet before getting chucked into the trash, why are you sniffing it? Torturing your own nose for no reason is not conducive to case. Your nose is somewhere between grateful and resent. It's made of dark blue, the blue heart. Something and something's permeables. The plastic, there's pain in there. If you want, with your hands, thin, see-through copier paper, mostly neon yellow, some bright red. All the rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. It takes about half an hour to piece one together. Using the system not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers. pane of Eternite has been planted into the snow, barely holding it up. It could fall over any minute. It looks like a makeshift bridge currently drawn up. The pane falls into the icy snow with a soft thunk. The tent is just tarpaulin fabric covering a pile of stuff. The flap is open. Inside, 3 young men are listening to some new form of music. It's like nothing you've ever heard. One of them looks at you.
Come on, get in and close the flap behind.
It's safe to assume